The first members of the Luke family arrived in Hawaii from Guangdong, China in the 1870s and settled on the Big Island. My father, Kanjung Luke, known to most as KJ, was born and raised in Kohala until he left for Oahu to attend St. Louis School as a boarding student. He excelled in academics and after high school earned his bachelor's degree at the University of Hawaii.
After he graduated from the University of Hawaii, he went to apply for a job at a local bank. And he bumped into his accounting professor, and the accounting professor says, "What are you doing here?" And he says, "Well, I'm applying for a job." And the accounting professor said, "No, you shouldn't work. You should try and go to graduate school." So he tried to cut a deal. He said, "Well, I'll try, but if I don't get in, maybe you'll give me the job here at the bank."
As fate would have it, he applied and was accepted to Harvard Business School, where he continued his studies in accounting, banking, and finance. Upon graduating, KJ returned to Hawaii, where he opened an accounting office, taught business courses part-time at UH, and invested in real estate, among other endeavors. Throughout this time, he remained interested in banking and finance and ultimately founded Hawaii National Bank in 1960 with the goal to help locally owned businesses.
Statehood came in 1959. The economy in Hawaii was changing a lot. We went from an agricultural economy to open up with statehood, with tourism and many different things. And there were many new businesses and locally owned businesses that were started here. And so we thought that we would like to carve a niche by working with the small, closely held businesses, because that's where the need we saw.
With the focus on serving Hawaii's diverse population and business community, the bank's mantra has always been the home of warm-hearted bankers, and that remains true to this day. For over 60 years and through 3 generations, from my father KJ to my brother Warren, and now under my nephew Brian's leadership, Hawaii National Bank continues to help local businesses thrive.
So when we work with our entrepreneurs and we use them in our ads, they're able to tell their stories, one, how we can help them, but two, just sort of what their story is from starting their company or taking it over and how they've grown and what their aspirations are. And I think that helps other entrepreneurs to understand what the possibilities are for them as well, and how we can help play a part in that, in their success.
Brian is now the president and CEO of Hawaii National Bank, but like his father, it was not a given that he would join the bank.
I started my career working for an accounting firm in the consulting side, and I did that here after college for about a year and a half. Then I moved to California, just transferred, primarily so that I would have access and experience with much larger companies.
There's no rule that it was the family business. My rule was I never wanted my children to say, what could I have done if I didn't come home and work for the family?
At one point, Warren was looking at hiring an outside consultant for the bank.
And one of my directors, who was retired from one of the big consulting firms, said, "Why are you hiring outside consultants? This is what your son does."
So the summer between my first and second year of business school, I did a project for the board, basically going through the entire bank, looking at operational efficiencies, and just it gave me a really good opportunity to learn kind of all aspects of what was going on at the bank.
And so the board says, yeah, let's hire him instead. And they liked the job he did. And so when he graduated, the board offered him a job. I didn't offer him the job. I was fortunate that after I got out of Harvard, I served on a few committees at the business school, and one of the committees I served on was to look at the family business program at Harvard. So we were able to tweak it, and when my children went there, and Brian took the course too, so we kind of think alike.
Does Brian still consult with you from time to time?
He better.
You became CEO in 2019. And that was the year before COVID. So you must have faced a lot of challenges from 2020 on.
I became CEO in July of 2019, and we were on a pretty good trajectory of going up, and our whole plan was to grow. And then when COVID happened and we shut down in March of 2020, we really had to change focus. We had a team of people doing PPPs all day, all night. We were able to do one of the first PPPs in the state of Hawaii. Every single one of our lenders is trained to do SBA lending. And so every single one of our lenders knew how to use the system that they used for PPP.
The Luke family ties to the Honolulu Japanese Chamber of Commerce lie in our resolve to help all communities.
We wanted to take care of the local people because the big companies, the large companies, were always taken care of already. And as we find that as more mainland companies buy local companies, what governs what they do ends up, decisions are being made on the mainland, and we want to keep Hawaii, Hawaii.
I think a lot of that stemmed originally from my grandfather, and as the patriarch of our family, I think he instilled in us education was always really important, working hard was always really important, but also being part of your community is really important.
Warren Luke was recently awarded the Ellis Island Medal of Honor in May of 2023. This award is given to individuals who have made it their mission to share their wealth of knowledge, courage, and compassion with those less fortunate. They do so while acknowledging their debt to their ethnic heritage as they uphold the ideals and spirit of America. With caring for the community in mind, the Lukes have supported a number of nonprofit organizations, both locally and nationally. Among them, and very close to our hearts, is the Children's Discovery Center, founded by my sister, the late Loretta Luke Yajima, and now run by Loretta's daughter, Leanne Usher.
The Honolulu Japanese Chamber of Commerce congratulates the Luke family and Hawaii National Bank as honorees for the 2023 Generational Award. 3 generations strong in Hawaii's banking industry, the Lukes and Hawaii National Bank are truly a business family.
On behalf of Hawaii National Bank and the Luke family, we want to thank the Honolulu Japanese Chamber of Commerce for everything that they've done and also giving us this generational award. I think it's great that an organization that talks about building businesses and community is very similar in mission to ours, and we thank you very much.